I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, February the 18th, where I'm feeling really stupid. I spent nearly 6 years getting a master's degree in agriculture sciences from West Texas A&M University, and this Mike Bloomberg is an authority on agriculture, and I don't know that he's had any training at all, but he made it sound so simple. The way that you can do farming, and I just unbelievable to me how he could figure that out when the rest of us are all scratching our head and trying to do things. I've heard that he's even got the livestock industry figured out too. You just turn boy cows and girl cows out together, and you let them have babies, and then you sell the babies, and it's profitable. You don't have to think at all or anything, and you don't have to have much gray matter, whatever the hell that is, and he thinks that just any dum-dum can go out here and make the agriculture world work for you. But that just goes to show you how disconnected, I tell you, these politicians are. And they all are. And I'm not saying that President Trump knows all that much about agriculture, but at least he tries to put people around him that do know. And I tell you what, we just got to really use our head this next time when we start picking leaders, because that is absolutely ridiculous and just insults everybody in agriculture whenever you have a fool come out and say something like that. But let's talk about what's been going on here at DV Auction. We've been busy right here in the middle of production sales season, and through the busy season here, I'd like to give a little update and maybe toot our horn if I should say that at all. But last week, including last weekend, DV Auction had a full slate of production bull sales and replacement females and the like. But in those sales, we had over 4,200 bids, online bids at the sales that we were working there for people, and those bids, the amount of money that was bid there added up to $22.6 million at those production sale customers of DV Auction. We ended up selling 695 lots online. So if you think people aren't buying their production sale stock online, I tell you what, that's where most of your action's coming from. And almost all the sales that we go to, we have way more people viewing online than they have in the sale facility. And I don't care how big their stands are, it's just way more people have time to do it on their phone, on their laptop, on their notebook, whatever they've got there. But just that's the way people are doing things now. And the lots that sold, that nearly 700 lots that sold online to DV Auction, added up to $3.35 million in sales of production sale livestock there. And I tell you what, if you guys aren't consigning your sale to DV Auction, your production sales, and even your regular auction markets for that matter, and we sell a lot of other things. We sell a lot of goats online, we sell a lot of deer online, just all kinds of different sales online with DV Auction. We can come and set up and broadcast your real-time sale online right there and take those bids for you. Look at what else has been going on. Was here in Oakley, Kansas on Monday night at the Cattlemen's Connection meeting, sponsored by Oakley Livestock Commission with Kyle Hemmert. And it was nice to meet those folks, and my gosh, they had a great crowd. Of course, Bill Bullard pulls quite a crowd, and he was speaking there. I was opening up for him. But really a nice facility there, that Buffalo Bill Heritage Center there in Oakley, Kansas. And it was a great meeting, and really tickled to be able to be a part of it. Got several more things coming up this week. Later this week, going to be in Malta, Montana, at an event there, and I hope some of you guys can make that one, way up there in the North Country, leading up to this weekend, which is going to be the winter thaw meeting there in Billings, Montana. That's going to be Montana Farmers Union, Montana Stock Growers Association, and the U.S. Cattlemen's Association there coming together to put on a big meeting there. And we want as many of you that can come to that meeting as possible there in Billings, Montana this weekend. They've got a bunch of great speakers, bunch of great activities, and hopefully we'll have a great crowd up there in Billings, Montana. Early next week, going to go over and speak to the folks at Miles City and to Sale Barn there, and looking forward to that. Let's talk about what's going on in the market this week. The board was closed on Monday for President's Day. Hallelujah. It's always nice when you have a day when everybody's working but the board's closed. You don't have to worry about it. And just like we suspected, the early week sales were able to enjoy the gains that we saw late last week on the futures on Monday without having to worry about the market breaking early in the week like it does a lot of times and taking that away from them. So your big high volume Monday sales really enjoyed their President's Day, and we're thankful of that. But likely there's going to be some pressure and continuing from this dang China deal. They can't seem to keep the disease out of that country, and it's hurting the global economy. But Apple and some of your other big companies, which none are as big as Apple, but they downgraded their expectations because of the trade, the shutdowns, the production out of China was down due to that coronavirus. And I'll tell you what, it's just pitiful that they can't keep things healthy enough around there, and it's hurting the global economy because of that. But that's what you get with socialist type economies there. Nothing is as good as it is in a great country like what we have. But you look at your weighted average on last week's fat cattle market, your negotiated cash trade and your 5-area feeding region, total volume 56,400 head. That compared to 54,800 the week before and 79,300 head the same week a year ago. Market really didn't change there late in the week. Your live steers and heifers ranged in price from 117 to 120 and a half, mostly at 119, and your weighted average on live steers was 118.90, which was down quite a bit from the 121 that we saw mostly from the previous week. Your dress sales 188 to 192, mostly 190, and your weighted average on dress steers was 190.27. But basically your live market was $2 lower and your dress market was $3 lower. I want to give a shout out to John Payne Harrison. He's a friend of mine from right there in Kingdom City, Missouri. He owns and operates, along with his son Jack Harrison, that's taken over a lot of the duties now, but Callaway Livestock Center there. But John Payne Harrison is a legend in cattle marketing in Missouri and really the whole country there. He was in Mexico, Missouri, helping run that and auctioneer back in the day. A lot of great auctioneers. He was around them. He was there, with the guys like Eddie Buckner. He helped train, your guys like Ralph Wade. He is a first-rate, first-class auctioneer and cattleman and market man there. John Payne Harrison, happy 80th birthday, and he hasn't slowed down a bit. I guarantee you he's still backgrounding several hundred cattle there at his house that he calls Miss Mary's cattle there. But I get a kick out of John Payne, and he is really, really a stand-up guy, and hope that he had a great birthday, and I heard they had a heck of a good sale there at Callaway on Monday. Look at what else is going on. Look at your feeder cattle market is a lot better here early in the week, and realizing gains from late last week. I fear that we're not going to be able to hold those together with some of the pressure that we saw, although the board was closed on Monday, but it could come in here on Tuesday and kill things. But your real-time index on from DV Auction, based on an 800-pound steer, through Monday's sales, 140.35. That was up 70 cents. So we've got that thing turned around, and you can't turn it around on a dime like you can a futures market. You need 40 acres to turn that thing around. But they got it turned around and going back up. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma National Stockyards had a heck of a sale. 8,500 head there. Your feeder steers, and these aren't mild gains, guys. These are sharp gains. Feeder steers weighing 600 to 800 pounds, $5 to $9 higher. Wow. And I guarantee you if the board was open, they wouldn't have been that good. Your heavier weight feeder steers weighing over 8 were mostly steady to $1 higher. Feeder heifers $2 to $6 higher. But I'm telling you what, with all the moisture that we've seen in the southern plains here, not so much from snow, but there's been a lot of rain in there, and now we're starting to see some better temperatures and maybe some sunshine break out there. It was really nice over the weekend. The graze out wheat prospects look fantastic. And you saw that come in here. You look at this quote from National Livestock Commission there, 77 head, 444 pound little Pee-wee steers in Oklahoma City bring 216. There was another set of steers, 75 head, weighed 468 at 209.50. Now those might have been the best kind and they might have been thin, but those are extreme top of the market quotes. In the southern plains, in the middle of Oklahoma, you know, those are quotes like you'd see out of the sand hills in Nebraska or somewhere like that. Absolute top quotes coming out of Oklahoma National Stockyards, and not just on the light Pee-wee calves. Look at this quote from National Livestock on big feeder steers. 60 head, 789 pounds at 147.50. They won't bring that, guys, but they're just now getting back up there. We had a real toppy day there. And it's good to see some big quotes coming out of a big market like Oklahoma National Stockyards, and that is your feeder cattle market early in the week there. And it's just great to see them getting that much. I tell you what, that Kelly Payne's doing a hell of a job managing that facility there, and everybody just seems like they've got rejuvenated when she come in there, and I'm just proud to see it. Those light calves at Oklahoma City were $5 to $10 higher, called by the Federal State Market News Service. Joplin Regional Stockyards, whale of a sale in Joplin also, 6,900 head there. Your steers and heifers weighing under 7, steady to $5 higher. Over 700 pound steers and heifers, $2 to $7 higher. And that's the first time pretty much all year that we've seen your feeder type weights selling at a higher trend than your calves, because everybody's been after the calves. We know that all year so far, but your bigger feeders not quite so much. But they had a great sale in Joplin on nearly 7,000 head there. Remember, they've got their video coming up Thursday in Joplin, and it's going to be at the barn. They've decided to move that the bigger video that they have at Downstream Casino into March, but they'll have several nice offerings of cattle on that Thursday video, and be sure to go on to JoplinStockyards.com and check that out, or go to DVAuction.com. You get the same bidding console from there. And look at this big quote out of Joplin Regional Stockyards. And it's just great to see your high volume sales in your commodity markets getting big time quotes out of there. And they're as high or higher than any of our sales that we've seen early this week. But in Joplin, 92 head, 514 pound steers bring $194. Joplin Regional Stockyards, guys. That's not Bassett, Nebraska. Not sure they could get that in Bassett, don't know, but I tell you what, this graze out wheat deal is what's bringing these lighter weights all the way up to the top, bringing at or above $2 a pound. Russell Livestock, Russell, Iowa had a hell of a sale, 5,000 head there. You know, it was kind of up and down through the weights, but basically steady to $6 higher. And if you look at this automated market report on DV Auction out of Russell Livestock in Russell, Iowa, you see the trends on there from last week, and even on an automated basis, you can't argue with the trends. Steady to $6 higher. That's pretty much what it was. Look at your best tested weights of steers. 505 head of the 5-weight steers average 547 at 172.75. Almost 1,000. 955 head of 6-weight steers average 644 in Russell, Iowa, and with a weighted average price of 162.07. and then 772 head of the 7-weight steer calves in Russell averaged 741 at 149.10, and those are all big time quotes. But the top quote that I saw was my friend Ted Baum in Elgin, Nebraska. Elgin livestock sales 65 head, 838 pound steers, 148.35. And that's your feeder flash for Tuesday.